Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is episode 126 for the week of November 29th. It is, as we record, almost December. By the time you hear it, it will be December probably.
It will be.
Or very, hours away from December. Anyway, I'm Nemesis, and as you heard, it was Alca7raz there.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Didn't have too many nasty incidents with relatives, I hope.
Yeah. I almost did, but luckily it didn't get as bad as it could have.
We have the finale of Season 5 to talk about, but first we have some news and a little product review of sorts.
Yes.
And afterwards, you also have some fan content. Music's finally back after several weeks being missing.
Several? It was only 2, not several. Cut me some slack here.
No slack.
Slack actually went down for a little while. It was funny because everyone freaked out.
Oh, no. But yes. We have news. So if you want to follow along with said news, go to pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. And remember, that's LIBSYN. Anyway, in convention news, the MLP merch blog is attending Hearthswarming Con, and they're hosting a panel on merchandise.
No.
Yes. Writer Josh Haber, the writer of Friendship Games and the recent finale, is attending BabsCon. Sea Bronies has announced Natasha Levenger for the December cruise. Unfortunately, though, Andy Price had to cancel, but he is providing a little art drawing for a door prize.
Neat.
Midwest Brony Fest has announced Kelly Sheridan and Jim Miller.
Nice.
And finally, Everfree Northwest has made several announcements. First, their PMV contest is open. Second, vendor hall applications are open until January. And finally, Chantel Strand and Shannon Chan Kent will be attending. Those are the voices, Diamond Tiara and Pinkie Pie's singing voice.
Yes.
In fandom news, more Fallout 4 pony mods have appeared, so you can have ponies in your game and people scream at you for ruining it, quote-unquote. That always happens. Anyway, Applejack has appeared in an episode of Littlest Pet Shop.
Yes, it's like a stuff, like a
rideable pony thing.
Rideable pony toy.
Y'all better get off my back right now.
I think it was, Blythe was riding Applejack, which is kind of a funny voice actor joke.
Yep, funny voice actor joke. Yeah, they like to cross over their properties.
Cross the streams.
Yeah, like Sunset appearing in Gem and the holograms.
Yeah.
Moondancer is coming to the Gameloft MLP game pretty soon, if she's not already out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it appears Lauren Faust is no longer working on the Medusa movie, and she cites creative differences.
Yes.
But she said as far as she knows, they're still working on it. I think that was, or she said she wasn't sure, but Sony said they are still working on it.
Yeah, someone within Sony said that they're still working on it. So
kind of disappointing, but
it is rather disappointing. Breaks. Yeah, it happens.
Anyway, a new preview of the Equestrian Tales animation project has appeared. It's just more storyboard stuff. Anyway, the Overmare Studios, that's the Fall of Equestria game guys, have released the first 3 parts of a 7-part podcast series talking about gameplay with video. So it's a video podcast. Look at them getting all fancy.
All fancy with moving pictures
fancy
on their
mathematics.
YouTube uploads. Moving pictures on their YouTube uploads and not a static blue image.
Ugh. I'm disgusted. Anyway, Ambient Prologue now has an alpha version, sort of, to play with.
Yeah, a little tech demo.
It's a tech demo, and you're going to need, as of right now, the Mac version does not work, and the Windows version, you need the Microsoft...
The Visual C++ runtime
2015 version to run it.
Yeah.
And it's going to run slow and buggy, and it's going to crash in weird ways. I will tell you that right now.
It's a tech demo. Well, that happens.
Anyway, the final piece of, fandom news, Through the Fire and the Flames, it's Dragon Horse. Them's Fightin' Herds Book of Lore Chapter 6 has been released.
Yep.
Yes. It's, what was the Tiano?
Tianhuo, I don't know how you exactly pronounce that.
Exactly, I don't know either. Yeah, it's the Dragon Horse.
The Dragon Horse.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. In the merchandise news, the Play-Doh Rarity set we mentioned a few weeks ago is now available to order and has images.
Yay, pretty pictures.
Yes. 4 new Explorer Equestria brushables are on Amazon. Not quite yet available for order, though.
But they're listed.
Yes. But, some of the other Explorer Equestria stuff is now available to order on Amazon, including the action figures, and I ordered the Twilight.
I should probably order the rainbow soon.
Yeah, because last I checked, they only have like 10 left in stock.
Oh, geez. Well, they're going to restock them. I'm
Yeah,
not too
they
worried
will,
about
but then
that.
you'll have to wait longer.
Yeah, well, I'm getting used to waiting.
But Dash hates waiting.
I know.
She's waiting for you.
That would be so amazing. That was actually the case.
Anyway, the Equestria Girls minis have been listed on Amazon individually with high-resolution pictures, but they're not available to order yet as of recording.
Yeah.
So you don't have to order a full wave if you don't want to. You can just get the one you want. Some Equestria Girls minis playsets have been listed on Smiths. These are Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie, and all sleepover themed.
Yep. They all have the weird cat ear laptops.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know.
Cats, because
people like cats?
I guess so. Hasbro has uploaded most of the MOP Christmas album to YouTube. If you're on the fence about buying it, you should probably check that out before you pop down money. And then get higher quality versions, because YouTube tends to destroy things.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of easy streaming.
Yep.
Anyway, in comic news, the Mexican release of the MLP comics by Panini has been delayed till January. It was supposed to come out next month, but...
Yep, I think they were really pushing their deadline and not quite done yet, so they decided to push it out a little bit more.
Which is better than trying to have a
half-finished product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony Fleeks, Agnes Garboska, and Brenda Hickey have all tossed up sneak peeks for upcoming issues on Instagram.
What's with Instagram?
Because.
Alright, whatever.
Speaking of Brenda Hickey, she's put up some pictures of the cover process for Friends Forever number 25 on Tumblr. This is the Dash and Twilight issue. An extended preview of the 2015 holiday special is up on Comics Alliance. That is the Tony holiday, not Equestria Girls holiday, and hopefully it's not like the Equestria Girls holiday special, because that was pretty bad. The Hot Topic exclusive cover of Friendship is Magic number 37 has been revealed.
Yeah, it's like the last of the 4-part covers.
They can put them all together, and it's like, oh, look, all these villains.
Yep, in one big panorama shot.
Neat. Anyway, in Friendship is Magic news, Amy Keating-Rogers has released more behind-the-scenes stuff of the recent episodes she did.
Yep, like scripts.
Alternate names, alternate titles, stuff like that.
Chicken scratch of the song lyrics.
Yes, on the back of an in-and-out menu.
Yep. When inspiration strikes.
You write it down.
What is with writers and writing things on menus and involved with menus?
Because that's when inspiration strikes.
Well, M.A. Larson had the dragon, what's-her-face, show up on that one menu.
Because.
That looks interesting.
Yes. Part 2 of Season 5 will be hitting Netflix on December 28th, so about a month from now.
Yay.
Before the end of the year. That's actually a pretty quick turnaround time.
It is.
The Season 5 finale was Jason Thiesen's last episode as director on the series. He is now moving over to the 2017 movie completely.
Yep.
So Season 6 will not have him on board.
Yeah.
Someone else is doing that. Probably Jim Miller.
Yeah, Jim Miller.
Possibly someone else.
I don't know if they're replacing Jason, but Jim's still on it.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
Yeah. Some people are already actually getting on his case.
Yep.
Of course.
I mean, no one's perfect, but remember to phrase your criticism constructively. Don't try to tear them down. Try to help build them up with your criticism.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? Okay.
It's called constructive criticism.
Exactly. But that's it for the news. Yes, there was quite a bit of it
this
week.
A fair amount.
Because, I don't know, just everyone decided to dump everything now. But, like I said, we have a little product review. It's recently came out, the 4DE plushies.
Yes.
They finally shipped out. So, yes, it means summer is finally here.
Summer's, now that we're in a winter, summer is finally upon us.
Yes. Alcatraz got himself the Dash and Fluttershy.
I did.
And I got myself the 2 different Twilights.
Twilight.
Yes. Yes, if you don't know, I pretty much apparently came up with the ship name for Derpy Brew. Oops. I just made one joke and a comment, and then next thing I know, there's like 50 some odd pictures tagged with Twilight. Oops. But anyway, yeah, I got the open wing Twilight and the closed wing Twilight. And, well, thankfully 4DE has not, like, dropped the ball in quality or anything. It's still, like, the first, like, Twilight and Pinkie. Still nice and soft.
Gee, Nemesis, why does your mom let you have 2 Twilights?
Shh, don't steal my jokes. Which I stole from memes.
Can't steal what's already stolen, I guess.
Sure you can. Yeah, so it's basically 4D. It's the same thing. It's not like they dropped a ball in quality or anything. I noticed they did make a slight alteration to the head mold, or whatever you want to call it, the head in general. That's the muzzle is a little more pointy.
Yeah, it's a little more pronounced on the nose.
Yeah, before it was pretty mushy.
The nose is a little more on the nose.
Oh. I'll see.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting though. The open wing Twilight, her wings are flared, but the thing is they're very floppy. So I kind of wish they put wire in there, just to help keep them
or maybe
held
like
up.
a piece of plastic.
Not plastic. It's something just to help keep the wings from flopping down, because as it stands, they kind of flop unless you kind of catch it on the wings, so they kind of flare out.
Yeah, I've actually seen it done. There's like a thin, wide band of plastic running along the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but Wheel of Fine did it with some of their Dash stuff, and it works really well because it holds it in place, but it's still flexible without breaking the plastic.
Yeah.
So that would probably work really well for that.
Yeah, so overall, though, the 40E plushies, at least mine, are really nicely done. Again,
I will echo most of those things are the same with the Dash and Fluttershy that I have. One thing I noticed that I wish they would have done differently with the Dash one, the tail, the way it attaches and the way it's shaped, kind of droops down a little bit more. I wish the connection, I'll say it, at the rump was a little bit better, because it feels rather loose, where Fluttershy's doesn't, though Fluttershy's tail's a little bit taller and supports itself when you sit it down. Dash just kind of tucks in a little bit more, so it kind of pulls. Very, very minor. And their wings aren't as big as they look in the pictures. Though those are prototypes, they may have shrunk them.
Yeah. Same with Twilight. Twilight's wings are also noticeably different from the pictures.
Yeah, they just seem small, which I guess is good because it could look kind of large in the pictures.
Yeah.
Which I like large wings, but it's not really show accurate.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple other things like the two I've noticed between my old Unicorn Twilight and the new Alicorn Twilights. They've changed the mane a little bit. The colors are slightly different. The horn is different. The old one had a much, bigger horn. Well, sort of. It's like wider. These are much more narrower and pointier.
Yes, they did adjust the horn.
So they've made some minor adjustments since the first two, which were a long time ago now. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time since these came out.
So if you ordered yours, you haven't got it yet, well, I'm surprised, because...
Yeah, they shipped... Once
they've
they
been shipping
finally shipped, they shipped quick.
Yeah, they've been shipping them out pretty quickly.
Priority
It wasn't
2-day
like,
shipping
I think,
for us.
what was it? Like when Twilight came out, like it was like a week or two before. Well, it's just they're slowly shipping them out. So it was like there was a good old gap between the first person getting theirs and like the last person getting theirs from the initial order.
Yeah.
But overall, these are still very much worth the $25 you have to pay for them, because they're very nice, high quality plushies for $25 in particular. Like it's especially compared to the other official ones. So if you're looking for a nice, high quality official or high quality plushie, but you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, these are still very good choice.
Very, very good.
They're nice and soft. So soft.
Yes, they are very soft. I wonder what material they use
Are they minky?
for those.
Are they minky?
I don't think they're minky. I think minky's a little bit softer.
Yeah. Well, they're very close to minky. If
it was minky, I think it would be more than how much they are. One other thing I will say, they're very good with show accurate, and they got Dash's eye color right. I don't know how many times people give Dash purple eyes.
Purple
she
eyes
doesn't
are better,
have
though.
purple eyes. They're magenta.
Okay.
They're not red either. But no, they got them right, so I'm
I believe
very...
this means, 40E has now
very
gotten the main
pleased.
6 out of the way.
Yes, because they do have the Applejack and
Applejack,
and Rarity
Dash, and Fluttershy have all been released.
and Twilight.
And Twilight and Pinky were released way back when.
They were
Twilight's gotten her revision because of her new status in the show.
I believe the other ones are out too, like Doctor Who's and
Doctor
such.
Who's is
Those are
out.
shipping too.
But I guess they could start moving on towards other characters.
You just want a sunset.
There's one in particular, yes.
You just want your sunset.
Yes, I do. But anyway, yes, they're still great.
Yes, very good
It's not like they all of a sudden screwed up.
Yeah, they
thankfully.
didn't drop in quality. They're still definitely
Still
up there
really
in
nice,
quality.
and they are making those running changes to make them a little bit better than they were.
Yep.
So if you want a plushie, pick one up. Anyway, moving on. We actually do have an episode.
Yeah, there was one of those that
came
came out,
The
I
season 5
guess.
finale aired. Finally. I guess, the season 5 is over.
Season's over.
Yeah. So, yes, it was the Cutie Re-Mark. And to summarize, hopefully quickly,
Hopefully quickly.
it opens with Twilight doing a lecture thing for the Celestia School for Gifted Unicorns, she starts off initially just practicing with Spike, and then she does the real thing, and she thinks she spies Starlight in the audience, but shakes it off like, nah, I was imagining things, I was under stress. And then they get back to her castle in Ponyville, and there's Starlight just sitting at the table, just like she owns the place. And then she casts some spell, and she disappears in a portal, and they're like, what? And then they pick up this scroll. I was like, oh, it's Star Scroll's spell, and they go through the portal after, and they wind up in Cloudsdale. Huh. And Dash flies by, and
she's rather young, isn't she?
yeah, she's little. They're in the past when Dash did the Sonic Rain Boom. And then Starlight stops her, and that changes the future. When Twilight and Spike are sucked back into the future and...
into the present?
Yeah, future, present, time travel, man.
Cornucopia of disturbing concepts.
Yes. And it's wrong because, well, in this future, Sombra is at war. Sombra and the Crystal Empire are at war with Equestria.
Yeah.
And it seems like Equestria is starting to lose.
Yeah.
So, which is wrong. So Twilight tries to cast a spell to go back in time again. Except Starlight's ready for her and again stops Dash from doing the Rain Boom and go back to the future. And, now they're in this Everfree. And they're assaulted by ponies who are covered in mud and stuff. And it turns out they're a resistance because the changelings have taken over. And then, do the whole process again. Now it's Nightmare Moon is in charge. And then she has to trick Nightmare Moon into helping her because she was out of juice because she fought Starlight a bit in a little duel, which didn't end well. So she was out of juice and she had to get Nightmare Moon to help her to clear out the Timberwolves because she was attacked by Timberwolves. And then they go back and it's just over and over again. Each future is just horrible no matter what she does. And then eventually she resorts to, fine, I'm going to show you Starlight what happens. So she grabs Starlight when they get sucked back to the future and it's just a barren wasteland. And Starlight's like, at first is resistance, like, I don't care, I'm going to still... Yeah, Starlight also reveals why she is who she is.
Yes.
But Twilight convinces her to
give it
stop
a chance
and give friendship a chance again. And they go back and everything's back to normal and Starlight seems repentant and Twilight takes her on as a student and yeah, that's pretty much the end.
Yeah.
And yes, overall, this was a very well done finale. Overall. I do have a few little niggling things I'll get to a little bit later, but overall it was really well done. It was Twilight, it was time travel, butterfly effect, it was a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, this was a funny thing. I recently played Life is Strange, which...
I have not played that yet.
Yeah, it's a really great game, by the way.
But
I recently
I've been
played
seeing
it.
Tweets.
Yeah, I recently played it, and that's a story. That game is about time travel, the butterfly effect, and there's a couple little questionable bits in the last bit of it. Like it's not. There's a couple bits like, that's not so great. And then there's this finale which has time travel, the butterfly effect, and there's a couple bits where it's like, that's not so great. It's like
it's poetry. It rhymes.
Lucas, get out of here.
He's in everything now.
Yeah, but this was a lot of fun for me just because it was time travel. I love time travel stuff. So, they did it once with It's About Time, and that was pretty good.
Actually referenced it, too.
Yeah, and they referenced that. It was pretty good. It didn't quite hit all the buttons. This one really did a really good job with the whole time travel thing. I really liked it. Again, just a few minor complaints here and there.
Yeah, I'll mostly echo what you said. This was a very well done finale. There wasn't any pacing problems.
Yeah,
even
really.
with time travel.
I would say there is one small pacing problem.
It wasn't any major. It's not like we have another season 3 finale. But yeah, they did well with the time allotted, I think. They did really well with what there was. They handled time travel, I think as well as you can handle time travel.
I said on Twitter, when you introduce time travel into fiction, it's going to have some weird inconsistencies. There's no way to avoid it because otherwise the story breaks down.
Yeah, I mean, there's time travel paradoxes and you have to deal with them somehow.
Like
or you can't
even my
deal
favorite
with them.
time travel thing, Back to the Future,
has
a few little weird things.
Too.
There's little things like, hold on, wait, that when you stop and think about it, it doesn't make sense. So you have to actually just accept that that's the thing and just roll with it.
Yeah. So there are just your standard time travel stuff, but I think it handled it as well as you could.
Yeah, it was also great seeing all those alternate Equestrias. The people we just ate that up.
Especially the first one, the war. Holy crap! I was not expecting.
I was surprised at what they showed.
That
like we Dash is a soldier, and
she has a prosthetic wing.
And part of her ears ripped off, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's just like
it's just complete the look and have a scar over her eye with one of her eyes whited out.
I'm not entirely certain how I feel about that.
That's kind of cool though.
But wow, I was not expecting to see that in a kids show. Mm-hmm. Even after the season 4 finale with all the big fighting scene, I wasn't. It's a big fighting scene, but this is getting dark.
I will say that war scene where they fought, it's kind of looks silly because it just looked like they were doing slap fights.
A couple scenes were like that. The first one they first meet,
it's kind of looked a little silly because like there's no weapons or anything. Just kind of no slap fights. It's like it kind of looks ridiculous.
Although seeing Pinky and Maud tear apart that boulder.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
That was interesting. Although I will say, when it first introduced that timeline, when I went to talk to Applejack,
it's just
and see that the first thing that went through my head, how Applejack won the war.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow.
I don't think most of this stuff is intentionally referencing fan material, but it's gonna.
I know they
coincidentally hit it.
But that's the first thing that went through my head.
Because there's another fanfic that went through my mind while watching this, Hard Reset. That's the one where Twilight has to relive the same day over and over again with the Changeling invasion.
Yeah. That was also interesting with the Changeling invasion. Mm-hmm. The material that they put on that reveals if they're changelings or not, and yet it did something else because Twilight's the true one.
It made Sakura realize Twilight is not, this is not,
it's like, wrong. What does this mean? It means we're not the real ones.
Yeah, we're not the right ones here.
Yeah.
Showing that, hey, Twilight's actually from the right timeline.
Yeah, and that brings up one thing, the map.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I liked what they did and how they handled time travel. The whole thing that the map never disappeared.
Although if you think about it, if you think about it, though, the map is continuing to exist kind of in of itself makes no sense, but you just have to roll
However,
with it.
I've seen this done a few other times, and I like seeing it because these are alternate timelines. Yeah. One, the map is central to it because it is part of the spell.
Yeah.
It is maintaining its own state across timelines because of the problem.
I
hate to see it. I have seen this in Doctor Who, but also how it went red to indicate problems.
It kept changing colors,
but it was different in Doctor Who.
I've seen that colors depending on what timeline was in.
Because of its importance and how pivotal it was to the actual time travel spell. If the map
disappeared, Twilight would be kind of boned.
It was maintaining its own state. Even though everything else didn't, it was able to hold itself
basically, the whole point was it shows a problem. There's a problem in a question. Well, every single time what happened was, there's a big problem.
That's a very
Everything's
big problem.
wrong.
Yes. So I actually did like that
although when you do, like I said, when you do think about it, it doesn't actually make that much sense.
Maybe.
It's one of those you have to just kind of really explain it away with magic and blah.
Yeah, and that is a fitting one. It's like,
how is this tree, which is in the future, just keep itself existing across timelines?
Because it has a connection to the time travel, to the dimensional split.
It's one of those weird things.
You
just have to roll with it.
I'm going to start using Doctor Who here. Ugh. It's able to maintain the paradox.
It's kind of like in Back to the Future 2, where even though when Biff went back and changed the past, still Marty and Doc were still existing in the correct future. In the other future, even when Biff came back, it's like, even though he's already changed the past, how is that possible? Because
one of the things, and I think they did actually use in this one, is the theory that you go into the past and change it.
It's the ripple effect.
Yes, but what it does, it creates a new branch.
Yeah, I know.
But anyone still in the original branch won't notice because it maintains their own, which they did. Because Twilight, as soon as Twilight went into the past, Pinky showed up and was still eating the cake. Because if that wasn't how it worked,
that might have been just left over from
timeline would have been.
I think that's left over from the ripple effect.
Yeah,
because when it brought back to Twilight to the present, jumped her in the new timeline.
Yeah.
It was. We saw the. Like so many villains return. We saw Samba return. We saw Chrysalis return. Nightmare Moon return.
Oh man, that face! Nightmare Moon's first face. That was actually, unfortunately, or fortunately, rather cute.
Yeah,
it's like.
Although that was cool. Dash was one of Nightmare Moon's guards apparently, and she had bat wings.
Yes, although that's probably just gave all Pegasus guards bat wings.
But it's still kind of interesting.
Yes.
And Celestia is now on the moon. I was like, that breaks a lot of...
A
lot of people just know she's in the sun. No, she's in the moon.
Yeah,
and the moon's now rainbow-colored-ish.
If you put Celestia in the sun, but the sun has never risen. So it's like, you kind of need something there.
Yeah.
But with eternal night, you can't have the sun,
So how's there eternal night? Does that mean the other side of the world is eternal day?
They've never actually talked about how that works.
No, shut up. Don't think about that. That's basically what it is, Nick. No, shut up. Don't think about it.
Yeah, they've never made that
Although,
mention.
there was also, we saw T-Rex again, briefly.
Briefly.
Yeah, it's because then eventually they went to the fast
they started like...
that Flim and Flam tearing up Equestria.
Nope, I'm out. Trixie did show up as
the changing one. She was very much in the background. Although someone noticed on IMDb that, what's her name? The voice actress. Whatever, Trixie and Crystal's voice actress, she was credited for Trixie, so...
That's interesting. Maybe it was a cut section?
Yeah, someone's like, it's possible, because remember, at one point Trixie had the Alicorn amulet.
Yeah.
It's possible. Then again, if the friendship thing never happened, if they never became friends, Trixie would have gotten that weird
Careful,
rivalry.
because if they never became friends,
yeah,
Glimmer would never have gone back in time in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those big problems with time travel.
That's inherent with all time travel.
Time travel inherently just creates nasty little problems.
Although, again, like I said, with the branching stuff, it creates a new timeline where she doesn't have to. It's already screwed up.
And all of the timelines, if you notice, they still wind up getting the same cutie marks, which is interesting.
Yes.
Although I'm wondering what happened with that Barren Wasteland one.
No clue. Although everyone's making Fallout Equestria.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of the It's the Alicorn Amulet timeline.
Maybe.
Trixie just finally went up and destroyed it all.
It just slowly drew her insane and destroyed everything.
Yeah.
The Balefire.
Yep. Oh, it was really funny that apparently Twilight considers the Flim and Flam future worse than the T-Rex.
Yeah, it's like, is it actually... I mean, she did say everyone was worse and worse and worse. It's like, wow. Flim and Flam were kind of really bad.
It was interesting that she, also been playing a lot of Fallout New Vegas, and a lot of the problems in there you can talk away if you have an item of charisma. And what's Twilight doing this? She talks the problem away. I thought I thought she was stalling. Just kind of stalling while it's because like Dash is doing in the background going fast and stuff. It's like
just stall her long enough.
Stall her long enough for the rain boom to happen. At the very least, like no, she actually full blown like convinced her to stop because Starlight was slowly tearing
the spell.
It reminded me so much of a video game because you have that like you have those things in video games. It's like you're talking to people, you have the multiple steps to convince them, and it's like you can fail any point, and it's like every single one. It's like it gets closer and closer to the edge, and then.
Yep.
Because she's like as I noticed that Twilight's cutie mark disappeared and stuff, which I guess is a good time to bring up one of my problems with the episode. It's you need to be quiet until I finish explaining it. Basically, I kind of find it a little alarming. Starlight was able to fight Twilight one-on-one like that. It's like it seems to contradict previously established conventions from the show. Particularly, basically the idea that alicorns are supposed to be kind of the pinnacle of ponies, so to speak, and alicorn magic is its own special thing, but it's kind of weird that she and Starlight are both fighting and then they're both exhausted, and it's like, this implication Starlight's as powerful as an alicorn Twilight. Like I said it elsewhere, Starlight being as powerful as unicorn Twilight, I'm fine with that. It makes sense, but as powerful as an alicorn Twilight, it just rubs me the wrong way, and it feels like another instance of them nerfing Twilight just for the sake of the story, because they've done that before. It's like, oh no, Twilight's too powerful, what do we do? Nerf her. And that's that. I have, I guess, two ways to explain that away, in a sense. One of which is Twilight is just drained because she's been casting the time travel spell over and over and over again at this point, so she's a little drained, so she's not full power. Another one is, thanks to the ripple effect, in these new timelines, she's not an alicorn in these timelines, so she's slowly going back down to her old self. She hasn't fully taken effect yet.
Maybe.
And I know there's a whole Celestia and Lunar, the more powerful ones, Cadence and Twilight, are not thing. But the thing is, Crystal Empire and Twilight's Kingdom both show that Cadence is also very powerful, so therefore Twilight should also theoretically be quite powerful as well. The thing is, they've also realized they kind of, at times, they're like, again, the whole, we've made Twilight really powerful, and now we have to get around that somehow. They've done it before in Season 3 and Season 4, I think even in Season 2 once or twice.
I would actually disagree with one of your base points there, in that saying that Twilight and Cadence are that powerful. I will agree that yes, they are noticeably, obviously more powerful than their unicorn powers were. However, I don't think it has been shown that they have been.
Twilight's Kingdom!
What did she do in Twilight's Kingdom?
When she gave the power, she just gave it just as much as Celestia and Luna did.
She didn't actually give any of her power. Cadence.
That's what I'm saying.
gave.
Cadence did. Yeah, if Cadence
Except
is that powerful,
that's not a very big indicator.
Well, Cadence has only been in the Alicorn for only like maybe 10 years.
Again, that one little scene where they're the energy orbs is not a very big indicator of just how powerful they are. Again, they are noticeably more powerful.
Yeah.
But you're also combining with Celestia and Luna's.
Yeah. She was like a third of the power she gave.
Cadence has been a Alicorn for a wee bit longer.
A little bit longer, but still.
Again, that's the only time we've seen anything else. I would disagree on Crystal Empire that it is a noticeable improvement. All she did was that massive shield.
Yeah.
Is the same. Is a maybe more advanced version of what Shining Armor did around the entire. I said maybe.
It's definitely bigger.
Canterlot's size changes all the time.
I know,
but again, Shining Armor 1 didn't even have to stay and maintain it. No. He only had to recast it every now and then.
Then again,
for something.
Shining Armor was keeping on changelings, which were just kind of like gnats versus Sombra, just like a hammer.
Maybe. Again, like I said, it's very, very similar. Cadence is more powerful, yes. But I don't think it's that significantly more powerful. It's not that massively more powerful that you're implying. And other than that, we haven't seen Twilight do anything that much more powerful either. It's all been more advanced version of stuff.
It just honestly just feels wrong to me.
What I think
is Alicorns are supposed to be powerful.
New though, and it takes time to grow into that power, which we've seen. And this is a little bit weird, but it's been said to be canon, so it's canon. Luna, when she first came back.
Yeah, there's that.
It took time to grow back into her existing
Although we don't know how long that took.
We don't know, and it's kind of weird because it seems like a retcon, but it is a canon retcon, so we have to assume it as such. Also, we can look at the ethereal mains.
Yeah.
Celestia and Luna have ethereal mains. Twilight didn't get hers until she was imbued with all the power. So my thing is that, one, she's not that supremely powerful.
I still find...
Combine that with the fact that she's completely out of her element through this whole thing. It takes her time.
Out of her element.
She had... no idea, no planning that this was about to happen.
No.
So she was caught off guard.
Yeah.
Starlight knew almost exactly what was going on. She planned everything ahead. She knew what Twilight was going to do. She basically pushed Twilight to doing the things she did.
Yeah.
That's how she planned it. So Starlight had the upper hand. She didn't need to be as powerful. She was able to wear her down with everything else. Like you even said, she's been having to cast the other spells.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's the only way to explain that away from me, because otherwise it just, to me, just feels cheap.
Also, Starlight didn't really have to use power to defend herself. She just dodged.
Well, she did occasionally
There was occasional shield,
blocking.
But after Twilight's already been well worn down. So Twilight was never able to, even if she is more powerful, she was never able to actually use all of her power.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is the only way this for me makes sense to be a fight to a standstill. Like I said, it's a one-on-one fight to a standstill. The only way for me that makes sense is if Twilight's already not 100% where Starlight is.
Yes,
that's the only way for it to make sense. Otherwise, even if she just had one throwaway line of dialogue, especially that last line, it's just the fact that when she says, "Oh, it's like okay, Starlight's powerful, I can accept that," but she says, "I couldn't even beat her," and it's like, it's just it almost feels like they're starting to push Starlight into a villain Sue territory. She's just barely touching that line.
Sure.
And I'm not the only one with this complaint. It just feels like she's just barely touching. They're starting to get to that point of villain Sue. Which, if you don't know, that's Mary Sue, but villain basically always beats the good guys, no matter what. Their plans are immaculate. Even if you find a way to beat them, they have a secondary plan ready to go that's ready to... Because you win. You win for like 30 seconds, and then they beat you again. That's a villain Sue. And it started to get to that point. It didn't quite cross the line, but it caught really close to it.
Yeah, I think the way they handled it worked just fine. I don't think there was any
I think my
problems.
other complaint is... It did feel a little... This was the pacing. I said the problem with pacing is just this whole turnaround of Starlight really fast.
It probably
and also
is a
her
bit.
Reasoning, basically her friend left her when he got his Cutie Mark, was like, this is really petty. It comes across really petty, as in...
Maybe. That can hit really
I know,
hard.
but it comes across really petty. Like, my friend left me...
stewing on it for how long?
Yeah, it's just like, you held that grudge for like 20 years, didn't you?
Yes, and that happens. That is the thing that actually happens.
It feels really petty, so it kind of, when she gets redeemed, although It's always like she's the misguided villain. She's never outright evil per se, but just she's.
Yeah.
I said that way back in the premiere. She's never really evil per se, so she's a very different kind of villain. She's just she's taken her philosophy is a kind of a warped version of Twilight's, a very warped version, because she wants everyone to be friends, but she thinks that they can't be friends if they're not the same.
I personally think they handled those things fairly well.
I think that the
well
pacing problem
reason.
is weird. It's just that's one little weird
maybe
pacing
a little
problem
bit
right
of
there in the
pacing
episode.
problem, but nothing major.
It's just again that's her reason. It's just
I can
her friend
see it.
left her.
I
Her
can
friend
see
left
it.
her, so therefore everyone with cutie marks is terrible.
I can see it. I mean, it probably could have been a little bit better, but
Although
I can still
there's
see
also
it.
the
It's
other
within
thing. Okay,
reason.
he was whisked off to Celestia's school. Why wasn't she whisked off when she got her cutie mark?
I don't know. Circumstances change. We never saw that.
It's odd. It's kind of a weird thing of like, why wouldn't she go to
Well, remember, she got her
school?
I'm trying to remember from the premiere. She got her cutie mark because of that spell, right?
We don't know.
We
They
don't-
never
I
explained what
could
a
have
cutie
sworn
mark
that's
is.
what it was.
They never said. That's something.
Okay. She may have got her spell. The circumstances in which she got her spell, it wasn't widely announced, like Sunburst's was,
I guess.
because that was kind of made it really.
brother.
I think it was her friend.
Brother. I don't remember friend or brother.
It was just her close friend.
Because it's like their names are kind of close for the.
Yes, but so is
Yeah, I know.
Sunset.
There's a whole
and Twilight.
fanfic in there. There's there's a fanfic about them being sisters.
Yeah, I think that was handled fairly. My only complaint, I can't really call it much of a complaint because it's just I would have liked to see things done in a certain way, but I don't know how they would have pulled it off, so I can't really fault them for this. But I would have liked to see a little bit more of the main six and not just be completely Twilight focused.
Well, Twilight finally got another episode.
I know. Like I said, I can't see how they could have actually done this. It would have been nice to see, but I'm not going to fault it because I can't.
Sometimes it feels like people complain so much about the Twilight focus, they pulled back so hard on it. It's just like, because she gets premieres and finales now.
Yeah, but I'll say, she didn't get very much airing this season. So, like I said, I'm not faulting the episode on this. It's just a personal thing. I would have liked to have seen more because all of the main six were background. All but Twilight were background characters, essentially.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Except for Philly Dash, but even then she was incidental and she was very important, but she was still actually a background character.
Although when Twilight tried to convince Dash to go fast, that was very poor judgment. She's almost treating Dash like she was her adult Dash she knows, and not the Philly Dash who has no idea who Twilight is.
Yeah, it's like you're being kind of creepy. There are a few circumstances I think I would have handled differently if I was Twilight.
Yeah.
Like first seeing Nightmare Moon, it's like I would have handled that completely differently.
Yeah, but you're not Twilight.
I know. It's like just
See,
color Luna.
Yeah.
See how that reacts.
Probably anger.
And that does remind me. I did actually have another minor flaw.
Yes.
Right in the beginning, when things first go wrong, it takes Twilight a bit to realize, what the pivotal point that was changed was. So when she first ends up in the war, there's like, what? Wait, where things start to change? It's like, but
I think that's another case of they got to make sure the audience knows.
But literally, the beginning of the episode, they talked about how the rain boom was so pivotal, and then they were at the event that she changed, and then she's asking what changed. Like, you were just there, you just saw it, and you were just talking about it.
I think she was more along the lines of she's like surprised that one thing changed that much.
Yeah, but it's like you just talked about.
I think it's basically because it's Chaos Theory 101. For small children.
Like I said, it's super minor, and it was within a couple minutes they already figured out that yes, this is the key point. So it only lasted.
Although someone noticed
minutes.
Starlight sits in the chair, Fluttershy's chair, which has butterflies on it. It's like
butterfly effect. Ha 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 ha.
Mind blown.
I have an actual major issue with that movie.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not important right now.
A couple of the little key points right at the end. That closing scene.
Oh, the song and everything.
Oh, we got it. It was a good song. It was a good song. I like that.
It really felt very final, didn't it?
Yeah, that ending scene as it pans out and everyone looks at the camera is like, was this meant to be the series finale again?
Sure.
Because it really has that feel, that finality to it, more than just the season finale. It's like, talking about the main moral of the entire thing and how they expressed it, and everyone looks at the viewer and it's like, wow, yeah. Also, right before that, the scene with Vinyl and Octavia, and
Yeah.
Octavia's looking at me. I was like, yeah, they're just roommates, aren't they?
Just roommates. New hashtag.
Just roommates. That was not a roommate look. That's Octavia was giving Vinyl.
Well, speaking of that, the whole thing, Starlight got her redemption, I guess.
Yes.
And I know apparently a lot of the fan was really against Starlight getting redemption.
It's more
really
like
against
they're
that.
redeeming all of their villains.
It's like, at this point, they're like 50-50. This is a weird. It's like the question at this point is she going to be, what kind of character she become in the future? Is she going to be like a new cast member, or is she going to be like a recurring guest like Discord?
Yeah, we don't know. Or is she going to show up at all?
Yeah, well, theoretically, she should be showing up a lot at this point. It
Maybe.
seems like that seems to be the intent here, especially since it kind of addresses that those people whining about numbers and there's only one unicorn now. Oh, look, there's 2 unicorns. Are you happy? Well, now there's only 1 alicorn. Well, we fixed that. You're going to complain about that too.
There's actually 4 alicorns, which is not in the group.
Well, in the group.
Although, the fix for that is to have 2 unicorns, 2 Pegasi, and 2 Earth ponies, and that's it.
Oh. That's a lame.
And to have Twilight as, just the supervisor.
I'm so glad they didn't revert Twilight back to unicorn either.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
so
that was
glad
something everyone was talking
that was one of
about.
those things that like, oh God, please do not.
Oh, one thing I'm surprised they didn't mention, all the discussion that Twilight was having with Starlight.
Mm-hmm.
The CMC were a great example of what you could have,
Yeah.
how things could go.
But Starlight doesn't know the CMC.
And she didn't mention it at all. It was I've got a great example. Look at this.
The problem is, Starlight
They
doesn't
didn't
know who
get
they
there.
are, and 2, Starlight was even hesitant to believe her when she showed her the wasteland. Starlight's like,
I know, but
even then-
afterwards, after she started getting that, it was, the whole, do you know what it feels like to have someone else, to be the last one to get your hero, or have everyone else get theirs? Like, no, I don't. But I know three others that really do.
again, they weren't there.
I know.
There's
but
no way to show her.
It would have been kind of nice to see that mentioned.
There's no way to show her. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a really nice episode.
It was.
It handled time travel pretty well.
As well as you can, I think.
There comes a point where you just have to accept the weirdness.
There are paradoxes you're not going to be able to resolve.
And there was a lot of fun little the jokes and weirdness in there, like Spike just walking off, just walks off the runway into the cloud.
Oh yeah, that
just
was
down.
great.
Although, and also the Starlight's yammering to Twilight, who's frozen in some crystal thing, and then she's sinking through the cloud, and then for crying out loud,
right.
and then it goes around and
then
keeps talking, keeps talking.
Just
Just little things like that.
little visual gags.
So yeah, I'm curious to see if Starlight's going to become a recurring a new main character, or just a recurring guest, or what? Because I know Carly Sheridan. I know she said she wanted to do My Little Pony from the get go. She applied like from day one. She keeps reapplying. She kept not getting the part until Starlight Glimmer.
She got a pretty big part.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me, Starlight Glimmer, and it's been mentioned before. Like Starlight's kind of a Twilight-esque.
Yeah, she's
very much based on Twilight's original designs way back when. Very, very heavily based. And she even, I remember Lauren Faust mentioned this once, she wanted Twilight to learn how to levitate herself around, which she did at one point in season 3.
Yeah.
And she is flying around using solely levitation like Twilight was at one point intended to do.
Yeah, which we have seen before on an Infinite.
Yeah.
Was it carrot cake? No, that's the what is it? Pound cake and what was the other?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin cake. That's what it is. Yeah, little Pegasus.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the little unicorn
flying,
levitating itself. Like, wow. Yeah. So here we see it again.
I think it's just another one of those cases of inconsistent power levels, just like Dragon Ball Z. Power levels are bull crap.
Or BS.
Yes, pretty much. But yes, overall, very fun.
It was very fun.
I think the season 4 finale is probably still better than this one.
I will say, just because how action-packed it was.
Just because I think that final third of the second episode, just like pacing got weird for a bit.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's just. Otherwise, though, great.
Yeah, it's definitely up there on quality.
Mm-hmm. But that is it for the discussion.
Yes.
We still have fan stuff, and we got to kind of haul butt through these.
We'll try and rush through this. So I do have music. 3 songs this week. The first one I've got, and this is kind of funny, all three are from the same episode. The first one is a remix of The Spectacle by Einarx. This is a heavy wub wub dubstep song. It is like exactly what you'd expect. Like I said, heavy wubs doesn't do a huge amount on structure, but if you like heavy dubstep, you'll like this one. My only issue with it is it can be a bit repetitive. There's one section that really could be shortened, probably about 30, 40 seconds overall taken out or compressed. Would make this a lot better. But there it is.
Yeah. He's a wubby dubby.
Wubby dubby.
Yeah, it feels longer than it should be.
Yeah.
It definitely, I got that feeling. It's like, oh, this is kind of going on. But so overall, it really didn't dazzle me.
I made my jokes. I guess I'll let you have yours.
I'm not sorry.
Anyway, the second song I have is the Magic Inside remix by Join the Herd.
I did all the things that I was told, but all that has changed and now I'm bold, 'cause I know that I am just a bunny. I make mistakes from time to time, but now I know the real me and put my heart out on the line, and let the magic in my heart stay true. Whoa, and let the magic in my heart stay true.
I guess this is a housey remix, but
It's not lupus.
it's never lupus. Oh, it was lupus once. But that's not what we're talking about. I love the power that this song has. The way it builds up and gives it that... It's just power. It takes the existing power that the original song had a lot of power to how it built up, and this one just expanded on it. And I really liked that one.
Yeah, this remix made the song pretty different, but without changing the emotional tone of it either, which is nice because some remixes will completely change the emotional tone of the piece.
Which isn't inherently wrong.
Not wrong. It's
not
just
bad.
in this one, this kept the emotional tone while doing a whole different thing with it. I actually wound up liking this one a lot. I think it's my favorite of the three you featured. And it doesn't overstay its welcome either. It's as long as it needs to be.
Yeah. What's really cool about this one is it was made in 2 hours the day of
then he
the
came back
episode.
and...
This is a remastered version. He went back and remastered it later, but yeah.
You did 2 hours.
2 hours. The last one I have is Equestria, The Land I Love, remixed by Never Last Standing. This is a fun and bouncy house song. I'm going off saying it's house because they said it's house. But it's got that happy feel to it. It just has that happy energy. It makes me want to kind of bounce your head to it. I think a couple points the vocals could have been a little bit louder, and there's one section around the middle during a vocal section where the instruments jump back in where I think they could have changed that. But that's the only real issues I can give it. Yeah. I really like it though.
Yeah, it took a song which was kind of like the weak one of this episode and made it a little better in some ways. And also, although there was one point in the middle, it got very video gamey.
Yeah,
sound.
It does have that almost
not
8-bit,
quite
8-bit, but
not quite there. It's very, but you can tell it's got that. When you hear it, it kind of sounds like it came from a video game.
Not inherently bad, but
not bad. It's just kind of an odd thing. It's like I'm not sure if it totally tonally fits, but okay, it's there. It didn't. ruin it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good song. I liked him.
Yeah, like those. I said though, my favorite was that middle one.
Yeah, it's definitely the number one out of this set for me.
Yeah, that was the music. I have a fanfic.
You
and
do.
Guess what? More rah-rah. Yes. This one is called The Brightest Star I've Ever Seen Shine, and it's by Twinkletail. And is the very first rah-rah Jack.
Twinkletail, is that like Twinkle Toes?
I guess so. Yeah, it's the very first rah-rah Jack fanfic
Rah-rah
I've
Jack,
seen.
not
It's
Rare
number
Jack.
one. But it's basically, in this one, it's Applejack just coming to terms with, I guess, a feeling she's had since she was little, but at the time she didn't know what it was, but her coming to terms with it, and rah-rah coming to terms with that.
Yeah.
And that's it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
It's fairly straightforward shipping fic. There's nothing particularly big about it. It's got a couple little funny joke, a couple references to the episode, but it's notable just because it's first.
It's first. It's well written.
And
It's corny.
Yeah, it's a little corny, and,
And
even
it
called itself on it.
It lampshades its own corniness, so
Mhm.
that's always funny to see.
Oh.
It's always nice to see.
It's short. It's a little over 4,000 words, so you'll knock it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
It's fun,
I'll read it.
and maybe more rah-rah Jack will show up, and then the shipping
Maybe.
wars will.
And the shipping wars will
Well, that reminds
continue.
me, it's funny seeing some people apparently got upset that they called her rah-rah, because apparently a lot of people have called Rarity rah-rah for a long time.
Rah rah rah, not rah rah.
Yeah. So that's that. Updated, Fractured Sunlight updated again. This chapter is mostly the Twilight and her new friends and girlfriend
Yeah.
meeting Twilight's family.
And the road trip.
Yeah, road trip and meeting Twilight's family, and some of the little bit of awkwardness on Sunset's part with that one.
Yeah, there's always that awkward point.
So, yeah, but it's continuing.
It's continuing.
It's fun still, so keep checking it out. Nothing did make me go, no, this is terrible now. I think, of course, for that fic, it'd take me a lot for me to say, no, this is terrible now.
Yeah, you've kind of got your bias on that one.
Anyway, that is the end. And yes, like I said, we did rush through those, and I think we did pretty well. That's the end of, this episode, and that's the end of the season, which means we're now in hiatus mode.
Hiatus mode. Oh boy, the night is upon us once more.
It begins anew. We're going to do another episode next week. And then after that, though, we are going bi-weekly again. So we will go in once every 2 weeks while an episode until the new season starts whenever next year.
Yep.
This is warning. So just letting you know. If you like this episode, though, and you want to check out past and future episodes as well, you can go to pony411.libsyn.com. Again, that's Libsyn. There's also iTunes. Search for Pony411 on there and subscribe, rate it, review it, do your thing. There's also Stitcher, Stitcher.com, or the iOS or Android apps. Search for Pony411 there. And YouTube, youtube.com/Pony411. We upload there as well. You can, subscribe, like, comment. Patterns emerge.
Yes.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It's chaos theory.
Oh no.
And you can't, one little change cascades into effects later on. We just learned about that, right?
Yes. We're also on Ponyville FM. Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. There's also Ponyville Live, ponyvillelive.com. Episodes are there if you want to subscribe to the RSS feed that way. You can contact us via our email addresses, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, whatever. There's also the facebook.com/pony411. Episodes are posted there weekly or coming up bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
You can like us there. It's cool. Thumbs up. Or our main social media thing, Twitter, @Pony411. We talk there, sometimes make goofy jokes, ask questions about the new episodes. Whatever. We'll be doing other things pretty soon. As soon as we get all those plans solidified, we'll let you know.
Yes.
But anyway, we also have our personal Twitter accounts. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alcatraz with a 7 and 7 T and an underscore at the very end. Lately, I've been tweeting about Life is Strange, which, again, great game. Go play it.
I'm tweeting my new plushies.
Yes. I also tweeted plushies. You can see the pictures of our plushies.
Yes.
So that is it for our episode. Tune in next week. We'll be doing something else. And until then, though, please pony responsibly.
And congratulations on the Bronyville podcast on 200 episodes.
Yes. Congrats to them.
Congratulations to them.
So see you guys.